Turn to page 23. Love Me Tender. Okay. Now, this is a beginner, really beginner, so we need to put some sevens in here. Well, no, we won't. Not for a minute. You have an F chord, a G chord, and a C chord. That's it. That's the whole song. All right. So, if I play this song like it's written, my first chord is F, right? How am I going to play it? A and F. And it sounds like this. Instead of this, I hear this. Which one do you like best? Hear the difference? Pretty harmony. Alright, and the G7 chord and C. Okay, I'm not playing G7, I'm going to play just G. So listen, here's how it's going to sound if I play with 3 notes. It's thrilling. Alright, now listen to what happens if I only play 2 notes. Isn't that pretty? It's much more interesting to listen to with only 2 notes than slamming down 3 notes. Okay? Alright, that's rule number 1. Now, rule number 2. 7th chords are 2 notes also. Alright, they're the 7th and the 3rd. And if you don't know what they are, look at your scale sheet. Okay, but the easiest way is just play the chord. The 7th is a whole step to the left of the root. Okay, drop out the root and the 5th. And that's what you hear. Okay, now in Love Me Tender, take out your pencil and put a 7 next to the G. Because they didn't write it there because it's a beginner book. Alright, and then put a 7 next to the C. So it's G7 and C7. Okay, and the same on the next line down. G7 and C7. Alright, so listen, if it doesn't have a 7, the chord's probably going to feel like this. If it does have a 7, the chord's going to feel like this. Okay, so 6 and a 4th. Okay, so a 6 has 4 notes up, 2 notes down, and a 4th has 2 notes up and 2 notes. Is that? Alright, so Love Me Tender. F chord doesn't have a 7, so you just play the F chord, leave the middle note out. G7. C. A piano, an organ, doesn't matter. You're going to get a really nice harmony that when you're a beginner, people don't expect to hear that from you. I think it's the best clue that I know to make you sound more professional without really having to think about it. Because that's the key. We've got enough to think about when you're trying to learn how to play.
I think it sounds prettier, especially on the slower numbers. There's more harmony that you hear. You really do, compared to...
It sounds better because you don't overpower the left.
Right,
Yes.
right.
Well, here's a good basic rule, too. If the right hand's playing 1 note, the left hand should play double is the amount. So if you're playing a single note, like if you're running the chords on the left hand, you can block the chords, play lots of notes on the right hand. But if you're playing lots of notes on the right hand, you shouldn't be playing lots of notes on the left hand. It's too much. There's too much there. And that's what all beginners do. They try to play this too many notes. Try is the operative word. What were you going to say? Sorry.
No, I was just going to say it sounds prettier, especially on a piano, I think, than just the I mean, if you just think about that, that is so repetitious, and that, unless you were to maybe roll that.
Roll it.
Anyway, I just think it's great. It's actually so easy. If you just think about it, you're just taking out the middle note of your 3 notes that make the chord, or on your 7th. I mean, it's just a real pretty way to play chords. Maybe not through the whole song. For this week, yes, but you'll find that there'll be times where it sounds prettier if you just try this through maybe the bridge or a part of the song.
Think of it this way. You have a trio, 3 people in your little trio. One of them's not so good. You know, the alto guy. You know, we'd sound much better if he wasn't there. Well, now you can get rid of him. See, just take the middle note out. Now watch this. This is what, and I try to explain to the kids that I teach. It's not so much about precision in music. All right? It's more about the harmony and what you hear. And most of the time, people don't try to step out of the box because of fear. It's scary out there. It's like the unknown. That's why I won't go scuba diving. But that's kind of what music is like. You get in this little safety zone and you play the chords and you know they're right. But getting out of that comfort zone and trying to do new things is really hard. You could take workshops and get online and you can listen to all these people tell you what to do. But it's not as easy as it sounds because you're afraid that you're going to make a mistake. So let me show you something that's kind of cool. You can take a chord, and if you leave the root of the chord alone, which is like a C chord, what would be the root?
C.
C. All right? So watch. And Greg, if you can help here just for a second. All right, up there on the board, and I'm going to play, and he's going to show you C chord, G, C, E. All right. If I take the bottom note, and the ear players don't even have to know what the name of that note is. Take the bottom note of that chord and move it up a half step. And move it up again. And again. And again. And down. And down. And down. And down. And down. And back. Any of that sound bad to you?
No.
Nope.
Sounded good.
Take the top note of the chord and move it up a half. Back, down a half, again, and back up, and back up. Now watch this. Leave the name of the chord alone, take both of the other notes and move them back a half step. And again, back up a half step, back. Stop. Did any of those sound bad?
No. What do you call it?
I call it crawly fingers. No one else will. I should patent
You're
it.
right. No one else will.
Okay? That's what it is.
It is.
It's called have the guts to get your finger off of a note and make it move.